Hi, Pete Vanderpool here. Sometimes we need to relinquish control, even though it's not an easy thing to do. I was substituting in a local high school in a chemistry class. Well, I went in early as I was supposed to. They always had the substitute book there, and they'd tell you exactly what they were supposed to do for that particular day. Well, when I walked in, there sits the teacher behind the desk. And I said, have I got the wrong day? He said, no, I'm just doing some things before I get out of here. Now, he said, they're going to get a very serious test tomorrow. So do the best you can to help them get ready for it, okay? I said, okay, fine. My background is engineering. I had been in chemistry classes and I did not like chemistry, but that's beside the point. But I was thinking, it was 50 years ago when I was in chemistry class. I thought, periodic chart has changed. That's okay. I can do this. Well, the kids came in and they sat down and I said, now I understand that you have a really serious test tomorrow, so I'll do my best. And I think the way I can do this is you tell me what to write on the board. So I went over to the board and they started telling me things and I'm writing. But you know what? Math has changed too. You don't solve things the way they did back in my day. Well, there were two students that couldn't stand it. Both of them were named Daniel. One of them was from Ukraine, and the other was a local guy. Now, the local guy was amazing because he could divide in his head to 2 decimal points. Absolutely incredible. The other one was a student from the get-go. So they came over and said, can we do this? And I thought, this is relinquishing control, and yeah, go ahead. So I'll call them Daniel number 1 and Daniel number 2. Daniel number 1 is the one from Ukraine. And he got up there and he started writing. He put the formulas up there and he did all the math that was supposed to be. And when he'd get the line done, he'd turn to the other Daniel and say, okay, what is so-and-so divided by so-and-so? And he'd tell him and he'd write it down. Well, they did that for every one of the practice problems that they had. It took basically the whole period. I breathed a sigh of relief, and they went back, and when the bell rang, all of a sudden there was a whole row of girls that came up to me, and they said, you know what? This is the first time we have understood this. And I thought, wow. I relinquished control, and look what happened. Sometimes it is a good thing to let somebody who knows more about it take over so you don't have to bluff your way. And there we have it. I'm still Forever Santa.